everyone, it's your produce guy, and I'm here tonight with a fantastic recipe using these fresh apricots that these guys right here, tree ripened apricots. I'm going to make some apricot chicken tonight. So let me quickly go through the list of ingredients and we'll get cooking. Starting off with 2 pounds of fresh chicken breast, boneless, skinless, that's been cut into 1 to 2 inch pieces. I've got my 1.5 pounds of apricots right here. I've got 1 whole onion that's been chopped. I have some chicken broth. We're going to use 2 cups of that. I've got 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, some fresh rosemary. We're going to chop up a tablespoon of that. I'm going to use a tablespoon of butter, some olive oil, about 3 tablespoons. I've got some cinnamon. We'll use a teaspoon of cinnamon in there. And I've got some Louisiana style pepper sauce, salt and pepper. And oh, I forgot to mention, I've got right here, I've got some sugar. Now the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of sugar, but these tree ripened apricots are so ripe and sweet that I've cut the sugar in half. I'm just using 1/8 of a cup of sugar. So the first step is we add the sugar to the apricots. We'll give those a little stir. Now those apricots have been roughly chopped, and that doesn't mean chopped roughly, but large pieces it's been chopped into. So we're going to set that aside, get over to the stove, and start with our chicken. Okay, we're going to start with our tablespoon of oil and some butter there. Oh, we got that pan a little bit hot. Turn that down just a little bit. Okay, first item is your chicken. Now, you want to place your chicken in the pot. A pot in every chicken and a chicken in every pot. How does that go? You don't want to crowd these in the pot. We're just going to brown these. Oh, listen to that sizzle there. Don't want to dump the whole 2 pounds in. We're going to do these in batches. Okay, that's about enough there. Just going to get these browned. Kind of sear the edges on these. I'll go ahead and get the rest of these finished. Okay, we're just about done now. As I've been browning this chicken, I did hit it with a little bit of salt as each little batch was cooking. So got some salt in there. You'll see some brown on the bottom of the pot there. That's exactly what you want. A little bit of that chicken sticking to the bottom of the pot. Okay, time for our next step. And that's going to be our 2 more tablespoons of olive oil right on in the pan. There we go. And now our onions. Alright, turn that heat up just a little bit. We'll work these onions here for a minute or 2 until they start to soften up. Okay, our onions are pretty well browned there. So it's time for our chicken stock. 2 cups of chicken stock is what we're serving up here. There's 1 and 2. Alright, we're going to turn the heat down to medium there. And, oh, look at that. Very nice. Scrape off any of those brown bits off the bottom. Alright, we'll let that get heating up right now. Alright, for our next step, we're going to take some of these apricots and put them in the blender and make a puree out of them. Now, I had failed to put in the apple cider vinegar. It goes in with the apricots at the beginning with the sugar, kind of a sweet and sour thing going on. We also have spicy coming up in here. We've got everything covered. Anyway, I'm going to put about 2/3 of these apricots in the juice, down in there. We're going to blend these up, and that's going to go into the sauce with those onions and the chicken broth. Alright, there we go. These go right into the mix there. With our apricot puree in the mix, it's now time for the rest of our ingredients. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I've got my fresh rosemary, 1 tablespoon, right in there. Leaves only, no stems. No stems, please. And then Tabasco sauce, or any pepper type sauce, any hot sauce you would like. Oh, that cinnamon, that's really filling the air right there. We're gonna just kind of guess on that. 2 teaspoons, there we go. I like it a little spicy myself. And get that stirred in. Now that needs to simmer for about 10 to 20 minutes. At that point, we put our chicken back in there, along with the rest of our chopped apricots that we've got back on the table. And it will simmer 5 more minutes, and we'll be ready to serve that. Let's have a quick taste here. That's delightful. Oh, I can't wait. We've been on here about 15 minutes right now. The simmer time is 10 to 20. Well, it's cooked down a little bit. It looks real good. I'm gonna go ahead and add the final ingredients here. That would be our remaining chopped apricots. So we'll get some apricot texture in there. And then our chicken. Right where we started, we're right back there to our chicken. Okay, we'll get that in there. That needs to simmer about 5 minutes. I've got some rice on the stove. We're about ready for dinner. Well, here we have our finished product, our apricot chicken. I've cooked up some rice. Oh, there we go. A little bit of rice to go underneath this. I did add some freshly ground black pepper there at the end, along with another little shot of that pepper sauce. I like pepper sauce. Okay, so there we are. Right over the rice. Nice pieces of chicken. Can smell that cinnamon. Oh, and the rosemary. Delicious. Here we go. Oh, that is good. Oh gosh, you can hear me crunching over here. That is fantastic. That's our recipe for apricot chicken made with our tree-ripened apricots today. Thanks so much for watching. Pleasure to have you. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed the recipe or you'd like more information about what we talked about today. Please leave a comment on that so we can get back to you. Thanks so much for being with us today. And as always, remember, fresh is best. I bought a graham cracker crust rather than a regular pastry pie shell. That graham cracker crust, well, so it adds a little bit of sweetness, but it has cinnamon to it, which is excellent with blueberries. So we're going to let this cool, then it's going to go in our pie shell, and we'll be ready to taste a little bit. Okay, our mixture is cooled now, and we're able to load it into our pie shell. Oh, that looks delicious. Smells great too. Oh, blueberries in the air here.